We had an absolute wild scenario play out during our travel ball game today. And while things could have gone south really fast, umpires and coaches alike, when chaos erupts on the field, this is how you need to handle yourselves. Let me just take a quick moment to set the scene for you. We've got a travel baseball tournament this weekend. The boys did great. We won our Friday night game. We came back to play Saturday afternoon. We're playing what is considered to be probably one of the favorites in the tournament. We jump out to a quick 1-0 lead. To the other team's credit, they took advantage of a couple of our miscues and they go up 4-1. Now this is where chaos happens. We're able to scratch across a couple of runs. We then load the bases with only one out, and I have never seen a ground ball to third base cause so many problems. A fairly hard ground ball is hit at the third baseman. He fields it, tries to step on third base, and then throws home, trying to get the double play. Now, if the bases are loaded and the third baseman steps on the bag, the catcher then needs to tag the runner out at home plate. Once he steps on the bag, the runner from second base is out. There's no longer a force out at home plate, and he would need to then tag the base runner, which he did not. We called that out immediately, but the home plate umpire still called the runner out. But if you were listening closely, I gave you a clue a second ago on how this was going to play out. I said the third baseman tried to step on the bag because the umpire in the field said that it didn't happen. Luckily for us, our third base coach noticed in the moment exactly what was going on because the home plate umpire knew that there was no out called at third base. So he was calling the guy out at home based on the catcher touching the plate, which was absolutely the right call. But the catcher, hearing out behind him, not realizing what had happened, threw the ball back out to the pitcher's mound, and the entire team left the field. So what did we do? We kept running. Our third base coach kept sending him. Their coaches absolutely lost it because they had no idea what was going on, but we kept playing baseball. If you're listening right now and you're a player, that's how you got to play the game. Unless you know for sure that the third out has been made, you should still be playing hard. Okay, so the dust settles at this point. Our guy that was actually at the plate that hit the ground ball to third base came all the way around to score. That's right. All four of the base runners ended up crossing home plate, but nobody was really exactly sure what had happened. Now, I got to give some credit to the umpires here because whether or not anybody in the stands or the field agreed with what ended up happening, they did a good job trying to contain the madness that had ensued because the coaches from the other dugout ran out onto the field while our players were still rounding the bases because the umpire in the field had said he didn't tag third base. Now, at that point, the umpire in the field, the only thing that he could do was turn his attention to the other coaches. Now, one of the coaches was really lucky that he didn't get tossed, and the umpire made it clear in the moment if he didn't go back to the dugout that he was going to throw him out of the game. But the second coach from the other team that was at first base did a really good job stepping in and trying to calm everyone down around him on his side so they could actually discuss what was going on. So credit to him. After the umpires got together for a couple of minutes, myself, our head coach, and the other coach from the other team all got together with the umpires to basically discuss what they had seen. And the guy in the field made it very clear. The third baseman did not step on the bag. So the runner that was at third base going home, he was out because the catcher did tag the plate even though he didn't tag the runner. And because they were saying the bag was not touched at third, that was the correct call. Now, we tried to figure out what was going to happen after that. Because, of course, we wanted all three of our runs to score. The guy from third obviously doesn't score, but the guy from second, the guy from first, and the guy that was at home plate all came across to score. Now, the other coach argued that none of our runs should count, that the guy that was out going towards home plate, he's out. The runner that was at home plate goes to first, first goes to second, second goes to third, and we have two outs. But we were pretty adamant on our side as well, like, hey, we get that, and we understand that you are frustrated, but our boys did not quit playing baseball, and that's the way we've taught them to play the game. And we don't believe it's okay to basically say, hey, you guys didn't quit playing. Your team did, and now we have an issue where our boys aren't getting rewarded for their hard play. And again, kudos to the other coach because he said, you're right. So the officials essentially said, what do you both think that we should do here? And they actually gave us and the other team an opportunity to take about 30 seconds to explain to them what we think we should do. I told them, honestly, we should probably get 2 runs out of this. That the guy that was at the plate should go to third base because that was the point and when the field umpire walked off the field to confront the other coach and basically tell him, you're done or I'm throwing you out. So to me, because that's when the umpire kind of turned their back, it felt like that was probably the best point because he no longer could make a call then. Again, the other coach said, well, I don't know if I fully agree with that. So he suggested to us, what if 1 run scores, your batter goes to second base, and your second base runner goes to third base. So essentially the runner at home is out. We score 1 run, which would have been the guy from second coming all the way to home. Guy from second stays on third. Guy at home plate goes to second. And now we have runners on second and third with 2 outs. Now listen, a younger version of myself probably would have argued that until I was blue in the face. When your team plays hard, they should be rewarded. You shouldn't have to take runs off the board because another team wasn't doing what they were supposed to. But I looked at our head coach and I said, ball doesn't lie. I was like, if we deserve this win today, then our boys are going to pick each other up. We're going to get a base hit here. We're going to score these runs and it's not going to matter anyway. And that's exactly what happened. The next guy up hit a double into the left field gap. He's on second base with 2 outs. Both runners end up scoring anyway. We take the lead once again in that inning and we move forward. Now, the other team battled back once again. They tied the game 7-7 before we went on another offensive barrage, and we ended up knocking them off 12-7. But for as good of a win as that was for our team, there was something else that came out of it. A couple of parents after the game approached me and said, Coach, we really appreciated how you handled that situation on the field because you taught our boys how they should handle that situation on the field. And again, a younger version of myself would not have handled that nearly as well as I did. But I felt like myself and our head coach both took the time to hear out the umpires, hear out the other team, give them our thoughts on what should happen, and then come to an agreement on something that was actually pretty fair for both teams. Now, our parents, they didn't agree with it in the moment. The parents on the other side, they didn't agree with it in the moment either. I took the time to walk over to the stands and say, hey, parents, this is what's happening. This is what we believe to be accurate. While we do think we should have scored more runs there, it is okay. We believe in our boys that they're going to knock these runs in. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter exactly what happened. But the situation itself is so much bigger than just a win or a loss or anything else at that point. The situation itself gave myself, our head coach, our other coaches, and our boys an opportunity to learn how to deal with confrontation, on how to deal with having a moment taken away from you and needing to build yourself back up to go out there and go at 100% once again. And again, I appreciate the umpires on how they handled the situation. There are umpires that do such a good job of handling youth sports, and sometimes they're treated so poorly. There are some umpires that do a terrible job in youth sports. We played a tournament a couple of weekends ago where a home plate umpire actually threw a bat at our dugout. And when our hitter was like, hey man, watch out, he actually yelled at our player for it. But that's another story for another day. There's going to be times like that in youth sports, and you have to take a deep breath and understand that while the win and the loss in the game may be an important part of it, that what your kids around you and what your players around you learn are going to be the most important thing that comes from all of that. At the end of the day, our boys are going to remember this win that they got today, but in a week or 2 weeks, they're going to be talking about that situation that happened on the field. And they're going to remember how their coaches stuck up for them, gave them an opportunity to continue to play baseball and play baseball well, but also didn't yell at anybody, didn't scream at anybody, and took a minute to understand that people are human. Maybe a call was missed. Maybe there was an issue that just didn't get seen. And we did everything we could to ensure that it was a fair outcome for all parties, because that is what youth sports should be about. And if this is your first time on my channel, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. If you're not new here, then at least like the video and leave a comment down below on how you think this situation should have been handled and how you may have handled it if you were in my shoes. But like everything we do here, you have to keep one thing in mind. Nobody ever rises to low expectations. I'm Coach Kyle Richardson. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.